The crisis at the southern border appears to be a major factor in a surge in homelessness here in the U.S. New data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development reveals the number of unhoused people in this country has hit a new high, with more than 770,000 people without shelter on a single night. NewsNation's Jorge Ventura joins us live. Jorge, what else does this new data show?
Yeah, Nichole, these numbers are shocking because according to that data, homelessness in the U.S. did jump in 18% from the year before, and there's multiple factors. And according to that report, Latinos experiencing homelessness here in the U.S. jumped nearly a third, double the national data. And this was driven by a surge of migrants that recently crossed into the U.S. under the Biden administration and who are now seeking asylum here. Now, local officials in New York City, Chicago, and Denver, who have received a large influx of migrants, did urge the federal government to expedite work visas for migrants. This would allow migrants to find jobs in the city, earn a paycheck legally while not depending on the city's strained resources. Once shelters were overwhelmed in many cities across the U.S., migrants were forced to live on the streets. And Nichole, I spoke to an immigration lawyer who says this is a reason why many migrants in the U.S. turned to ride sharing, and because they didn't have a work visa, they actually had to use somebody else's account to somehow make money while they're here. We had major mayors across the U.S. urging the federal government to expedite those work visas. That still has not happened yet, Nichole.
All right, so let's talk about sanctuary cities here, Jorge. How are they dealing with this influx?
So you remember last year in Chicago when those migrant shelters did reach full capacity, some migrants were forced to sleep on the floors of a local police station. Other migrants were forced to actually live in tents during the wintertime in New York City. When those shelters also reached full capacity, you saw those viral videos where there's hundreds, maybe nearly 1,000 migrants sleeping outside of the Roosevelt Hotel in Boston. Migrants were actually forced to sleep on the airport floors. Now, since January, migrant crossings have declined on the southern border. Local officials in Chicago and New York and Denver say that Biden's executive orders have driven down those numbers, which has driven down the number of newly arrived migrants at this time. Nichole.
All right, Jorge Ventura live for us. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.